All right, what's up, everybody? We got a big show today. We're going to be recapping BJJ Stars 18 and IBJJF's The Crown. And then we got Felipe Pena calling in later to talk about his heavyweight title match on Who's Number One against Luke Griffith. But first, I wanted to tell you guys that this show is presented by IM8, the all-in-one formula for fighters. Built for performance, trusted for recovery. Use code FLOWSPORTS for 10% off and visit im8health.com/FlowSports to get yours today. And now let's jump into the episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, aka the worst show on the internet. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Daddy Slack Barrett down here in the big boy seats.
Getting the call up.
That's right. And then Big Uncle Reed right over there. No Joey Gilps. Joey Gilps, now Joey protests.
Missing in action.
Said he wouldn't call into the show. Said he wouldn't join the show out of protest for this fantasy draft. He said there's something afoot here, you know? He didn't like the way Reed was playing it. He didn't like the way I was playing it. And so he said, no way, Jose, I'm out of there. So we got Joey protests on our hands.
For good reason. I was this close to protesting myself and getting out of here because that was some whack stuff that happened last episode.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's lonely at the top.
I'm still pissed about it.
The Sainz brothers, you know, the Sainz clan has been turned against me because of this. And these dudes are now posting pictures being like three goats and a glazer, and it's just the Sainz brothers with me in the background calling me a glazer and stuff, man. I'm getting these. I don't want the Sainz brothers unleashed on me. You got to call them back, Reed. Call them off.
Man.
Those are my guys. And when it comes to, this, you deserve it. So I'm not calling them back at all, ever. You deserved it.
This is dirty work by Reed, you know? I hope I win the next 50.
You're cheating. You're, doing all this stuff.
Well, if you guys want to know why Reed's salty, watch the last episode because he didn't like how his team freaking lost big time.
You and Ray conspired against me and probably messed with the numbers, and so
we cheated. So what?
Trey and I,
we're like
right
that.
now, me and Trey.
All right, but we got to put that aside for a little bit because this was a big weekend of grappling. We got
huge weekend for sure.
If you're a grappling fan, now is the time to be alive. In 50 years, they're gonna say, if you got a time machine, what would you do? Would you go back and do this or do that and see the dinosaurs? And if you're a grappling fan, you're gonna be like, no way, dude. Take me back to 2025, November 22nd, because it was a huge weekend in jiu-jitsu. We had BJJ Stars 18. And we had The Crown, the third edition of The Crown. Let's talk.
And shout out Fight to Win 300. Crazy.
Fight to Win 300.
Crazy that Fight to Win's been doing 300 events. Talk about OG.
Yeah, holding it down for a long time. It's hard to get to 300 events. Who's Number One is coming up on event 31. That's pebbles in comparison, to be honest. So shout out to them for sure. But you guys want to get into some BJJ Stars 18 action? What's kind of some of the action you guys saw watching BJJ Stars? Where should we cut to this angle and read real quick? Hey, now I'm conspiring with Nikki, the producer, too.
Yeah. Nikki, we got to make up some bits to kind of really dunk on Trey here in the future of this show.
At the bar and these hot seats are a little too strong.
You want to get into it, Slack? Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's all turn on Slack, actually.
Oh gosh. Okay.
But yeah, BJJ Stars, big event. Obviously, we saw Pedro Murillo and Roosevelt Souza going for the BJJ Stars open weight belt, right? We saw Fabricio Andre going up against Oliver Taza, Mayrum versus Owen Jones, Yatan Bueno, Big Dan. A lot of big matches, but you guys were watching closely, I know. What was kind of some stuff that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, definitely a great event, man. BJJ Stars always puts on an electric event. It seems like just being in the event space during the event, just the crowd is packed. It's all these Brazilians, they're chanting, so it's always just a fun watch. Bunch of good matches here. I think out the gate, one of the best matches there was that Yatan Bueno versus Big Dan. That was a really great match between the two of them, both big boys. We haven't seen a whole lot of Big Dan here kind of recently in this year and everything like that. So it was good to see him back out on the mats, but ended up being kind of all Yatan Bueno. In the first part of it, Dan was doing a really good job just kind of harassing Yatan from his guard and everything like that. I think we got some highlights even we can play here too, Nikki, of this match.
Should have Reed sharing his screen here with you or something.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. You guys can talk about this match. Let me see if I can fix it.
Yeah, I didn't catch all of BJJ Stars, to be honest with you. I was locked in on the Crown, though, but I went back and watched some of these. Definitely, it looked like these big boys were throwing each other around a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it was the big moment that kind of kicked off the momentum, I think, for Yatan was that, Big Dan was working his guard a lot, and then he goes for a wrestle up, I believe, and that's where Yatan was able to get a throw. And after that, I think, maybe that gave him some confidence because there were a number of other exchanges on the feet. One where they went out of bounds. Another where actually Big Dan had a nice look at a throw on him, but Yatan was able to actually kind of recover from it and end up on top. So that scramble went into his favor, and he was actually able to pass from there. And he ended the match in mount. I don't remember if he got the points for it or not. But
yeah, right at the very end, he stepped over into mount. Yeah.
You got the points?
I think they did end up giving points, yeah.
Yeah, so
gotcha.
Great match, though.
Yeah, I saw some of the press conference leading into BJJ Stars, and honestly, pretty electric press conference. Like, I saw Wagner.
Yeah, Wagner and Sergio were about to throw down. Sergio did not like how Wagner was speaking to him.
No, they busted out their MMA records. They started calling each other out on the organizations where they acquired those records. Like, they were going back and forth. And then the other one that I thought some funny lines exchanged was between Owen and Mayrum. Owen, obviously, all-pro team trash talk, but Mayrum can he can hold his own in some trash talk as well. Mayrum hit him with the line. I think the line was, and any Portuguese speakers, correct me in the comments if I'm saying this wrong, but I think he said "Casa comigo ou vai mocombo," which I'm pretty sure means "marry me or go away." That is a sick line to drop on somebody. I was like, dude, I got to remember that. When I'm back in Brazil or something, just dropping that on people. Basically being like Owen was like, oh, who you training with Nogi for this, And he was like, bro, you're obsessed with me. Like, marry me or go away, dude. And I was like, that is a hilarious line to drop on somebody. So I might try and start using that. Casa comigo ou vai mocombo. How about you, Reed? Hey, Reed, you're still mad about the draft, bro? Casa comigo ou vai mocombo. Amigo? Caralho, porra. Throwing some cuss words too. I can cuss in Portuguese. My mom doesn't know Portuguese, so.
Yeah, you can't be talking trash to me in a language that I don't speak. That's not fair.
That's how I felt this weekend. Live stream. We got this playing now. Yatan Bueno and Big Dan.
Yeah, you can see this is the end of the match right here where he does get the guard pass and steps over into mount there. So he hops over that far side, able to secure side control.
Yatan Bueno is a sneaky, agile big boy, to be honest. He can move a little bit. Big Dan can also. Both these guys are kind of sneaky, able to play
little guys.
Yeah, able to play a small guy game, even though they're a couple of the biggest people on earth.
Yeah, for real. So that was a great match. Wagner, Sergio, there was definitely, it seemed like a lot kind of riding on that press conference and everything like that. It was a little chippy. And man, any match with Wagner, it just seems like it comes out a little chippy, So they were doing some heavy collar ties and pushing each other off the mat and stuff like that. But it was Wagner Hosha who was able to kind of dig that deep underhook and run Sergio off the mat and kind of get the takedown. So big win for Wagner, man. Wagner's just been all over it out there for sure. Yeah. Talking about Felipe wants to go till he's 42 or whatever, but Wagner's out there still throwing down. And, I think, who was it that challenged him right after the match? Oh, Saulo Ribeiro said that he wants a match with Wagner Hosha.
No way.
And Wagner said, let's do it tomorrow. I'm down for tomorrow. Let's have a match. So Wagner doesn't care. Wagner's all for it.
I didn't know Saulo Ribeiro was out there calling people out for matches.
I'm not sure if he was there because I think he was in Austin actually.
Yeah, he was doing
but maybe he was watching and he's friends with Feppa, and Feppa, I think he texted Feppa or something like that and said he wants the next match with Wagner. Wow. And Wagner said, let's do it tomorrow. So
Feppa couldn't pull that off or something. He couldn't do the next day.
We didn't get to see it, but I think the next one is February. So maybe we see it in February.
We got both Ribeiro bros just out here throwing down these days. We got Saulo coming back. We got Shanji coming up against now Ferris. Little opponent change for him, and then potentially Saulo Ribeiro versus Wagner in the future. That's incredible.
Yeah,
you did mention Owen Jones and Mayrum. That was definitely, I think, one of the standout matches from the event.
Hold on, real quick. Let's see if
maybe we'll come back to it.
Real quick, just see if we can watch this this takedown that Wagner hit. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit of back and forth on kind of what the reset was going to be and everything like that. So it was a a big moment in the match. Definitely the biggest moment in the match. Sorry here, I'm just kind of scrolling back trying to find where we're
getting beat by technology right now.
Yeah.
Technology's up.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So Sergio, a legend in the UFC as well, probably has a better record. I don't know. I forget what their records are, but I think he might have a better record than Wagner.
I think Wagner's record might have been a little better, but he got most of his wins outside.
Oh, just overall record. Yeah. I think Sergio had a great run in the UFC. So yeah, you can see digs this deep underhook and then just runs Sergio off the mat, and that's really
onto the red carpet.
Onto the red carpet. There's a lot of jockeying for position. It takes a while for them to really reset this position here, but that's really the kind of story of that match here, is that Wagner was able to kind of get this takedown on Sergio. So,
gotcha. You were bringing up Owen Jones versus Mayrum Slack. That obviously was a huge one. A lot of hype going into this.
A lot of hype going into it. A lot of excitement seeing Mayrum in the no-gi game, and he looks right at home in it. I mean, he was able to evade a lot of Owen Jones' game, but not just staying on the outside the whole time. I mean, eventually he gets this epic back take that was awesome to watch, lightning fast. And he was pumped after that win. I mean, they had a great back and forth, but yeah, I mean, the decisiveness of the back take was pretty huge. So
Definitely.
That was a really fun one to watch.
Yeah. I mean, this one was obviously hype for sure. Mayrum is just a beast no-gi. Came out no shirt on, so automatic bonus points right off the rip. At least on Big Trey's scorecard, you know what I'm saying, boys?
Yeah, and Owen has such a slick guard, and he was able to kind of fend off this pass attempt here for a long time by just keeping knees to chest, and that's hard to do. So, but especially, man, in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, almost impossible to beat a guy like Mayrum, beat a guy like Fabricio Andre in their home event space and everything like that. They
it's
got
hostile coming in as a gringo.
Yeah, it's tough.
You got
a
lot of stuff going against you when you're a gringo competing in Brazil. That's for sure. So.
And he just teleported to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so obviously Mayrum ended up getting the win there. Big win for him.
Let me ask you guys. So I see it. It's a 7-minute match here. To be honest, I was hoping they would go another 7 minutes. To be honest, and I see Bear from Shoyoro out there. I saw him commenting a lot, saying that no jiu-jitsu matches should be longer than 6 minutes. To be honest, I feel like I kind of disagree. But where do you guys land on this? I feel like I wanted to see more of this match. To be honest.
Yeah, it's like I guess I have like two schools of thought on it. One, it's like when a trials rolls around, those are 6-minute matches.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, this is nice.
That's great.
If this is a stinker. It's going to be over soon. We'll move on to the next. All right, now we got a banger, stinker, banger.
And it
keeps moving, I definitely think in like a super fight show, there's an aspect where it's like, who knows if there's 7 more minutes now, Owen escapes the back and now it's kind of like gets in on a leg and restarts these initiations. Like, he kind of could just now start getting it rolling. Like,
and Mayrum's still winning, so like Mayrum can keep pouring it on as well, and maybe we see him put 10 points on Owen or something.
But it's kind of like there's a lot of moments that happen late in matches that wouldn't exist if everything was under 6 minutes. Like a good example, we're gonna have Felipe Pena on later to talk to him about his upcoming match with Luke Griffith. But recently, Luke Griffith fought Victor Hugo and won it in the later half of the match. So it's like if that was 7 minutes, it would have been completely different. It would have kind of nullified that whole comeback, the whole story of being down and then winning it late. Same with Nicky Rod Kynan, where we saw kind of Kynan come out on a blitz from the rip, but then Nicky Rod turn the tables kind of in the later minutes and everything. Maybe that was around more the midway, but still kind of like around a halfway in like a 15-minute rule set where you kind of lose a lot of crazy moments like that. Another example in the gi, Adam Wardzinski, Felipe Pena at Pans, where Adam was down 7, right? And then he ended up...
Felipe Andrew, my bad. And then he ended up
sweeping, getting the mount, and then winning on advantage like as time ran out. So you kind of lose a lot of insane moments like that, where in a 6-minute rule set, I do think it's like it's way easier to get up to, and then like anybody can kind of hold on for 6 minutes and like kind of need those extra bonus minutes to kind of like, see how they can kind of recapture some points and come back and make a comeback. But then again, like there's a point where it does get boring. Like there's some boring ass 10-minute matches out there.
I agree.
I don't know. Bear knows more than me, though, so I'm gonna have to get his thoughts. I'm gonna have to get him on so he can kind of explain this and talk about what he's seeing and stuff. Because Bear's an OG, dude, been in the game for a long time, watched a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then maybe the other thing I want to say here is for the people who are clowning on Owen Jones, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Like, who else is out there talking shit and flying halfway across the world to fight one of the scariest guys in jiu-jitsu? In Mayhem, in his hometown.
Turf, yeah.
Who else is going out there calling his shot and going down there to fight whoever? He's fighting Gavin in his backyard. He's fighting excuse me. He's fighting Mayhem in his backyard. Yeah, he lost and he's having a tough go of it, but Owen is making exciting jiu-jitsu. Like, the reason why we're watching is because of guys like Owen who are putting themselves out there and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for glazing here, but
I think I'm the only one who gets the glaze hate.
All right. Trey's glazing here. I'm not. I'm just talking honest, talking some facts and stuff like that. But I don't know. You guys who are clowning on Owen Jones, you got it all wrong, in my opinion. You know, it's like, thank God we have somebody like Owen Jones who's ready and down to, like, yes, he knows how tough Mayhem is. He knows how tough Gavin is, but he's still down to talk some shit, put it on the line, and take the heat if he loses. Yeah. So that's my rant on that.
No, I agree with you 100%. I'll glaze it up for Owen for sure in that aspect. Like, to be honest, that's what Gordon was willing to do also. Whenever Gordon was kind of in that insane trajectory, like towards like the superstardom he found in the jiu-jitsu world, it's like it takes a guy who is completely willing to go out there, like, put his reputation on the line, talk what he needs to say to make something exciting, and then deal with the backlash of a potential loss. And it's like, that's a scary thing to do. Like, that puts you in a very vulnerable spot. Like, yes, it's easy to just say, like, I respect my opponent. I'm very happy. I've trained hard. I think I'm prepared.
And then if you lose, hopefully people just forget about it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like, you know, it takes a bold person to kind of like make actual waves that have an impact and kind of goes further than just like another match we're going to watch and forget. And so it's like, yeah, I do think there's some credit deserved for athletes who are willing to kind of do that, you know? It's like Jasmine Rocha, another athlete who I think is willing to like put it on the line. Obviously, she comes up from Wagner's kid, so Wagner's not scared to do that either. But it's like, yeah, you make yourself vulnerable to get made fun of when you do lose, whenever you're willing to kind of like put yourself out there and kind of make an exciting thing. And like, that's a pretty hard thing to do. Like, you know, a lot of people don't ever put themselves out there their whole life, no matter what they're doing. And those kind of people just kind of are in a complacent, like they just kind of coast along deal. And for sure, that's easy. That's fine to do. But it's like, those aren't the people who are making things like bigger than themselves and like going kind of pushing boundaries and all that. So I agree with you. There's some glaze for everybody watching.
Everybody out there these days so afraid to have the internet come after them. You know, internet's a scary place, and you got the internet coming after you. That's like not where you want to be. But for Owen to just be like, nah, internet can come after me all they want. I don't care. Like that's a dude we gotta look out for.
For sure.
You know, another match on there, Oliver Taza versus Fabricio Andre. You know, this was Oliver looked great in this match, to be honest. But he forgot that you know, leg locks don't count in Brazil. So so you can't forget that when you go to Brazil, leg locks just don't mean anything.
Had Vinny Magalhães on the judge. I'm kidding.
Yeah, man, that was you know, because obviously Fabricio really well known for his takedowns and stuff like that, but Taza was ready for those takedowns and was ready to counter. So I thought that was impressive, just the way that he was able to kind of counter Fabricio's well-known stand-up game.
Yeah, Fabricio will throw anybody. So Taza obviously had a good game plan of like not just getting it to the ground, but getting in with an entanglement where now he's, you know, got the advantage here early.
Ends up being a close match. Fabricio does get out of this. You know, this is some really good high-level kind of hand fighting here for a couple minutes. I feel like that some people can study if they're looking to figure out some hand fighting techniques and stuff like that, and how to not to get finished from this position, because, you know, Taza has both legs collected. That's a position that Taza really wants and usually finishes from. So definitely impressive that Fabricio was able to hand fight his way out of this, get back to his feet, and kind of push the pace on his feet. And then they ended up giving him the decision win. Close match, but I was impressed with both guys for sure.
Look at this kit Fabricio's rocking. Talk about willing to be bold. He's got the all pink. Is that like, what is that, tatami with the flowers and stuff? All right, Fabricio, go off, king. But yeah, definitely some fun matches there. We got a lot to kind of get through and recap as well. Any other significant notable thing went down, or should we jump into some IBJJF's The Crown recap?
Yeah, let's jump into The Crown. I think
just a shout out to Pedro Mourinho, defended his belt, so that was kind of what capped off the night. He continues to just dominate in general, but also BJJ Stars has been looking great there. So,
and then they brought Mika out.
They brought Mika out
in his kind of like full penguin Batman outfit with the tails on his coat there and everything like that. And he had the cap on. I love how everybody dove head first into the Peaky Blinders gimmick there, and so hopefully we get to see Pedro Mourinho versus Mika Galvao here at the next BJJ Stars. That should be a big match.
Definitely.
But the Crown went down on Sunday. Was it 6 divisions?
Yes, six divisions. So just to kind of recap who the champions were coming out of that, we had Gabby Pisania in the women's heavyweight division. We had Sarah Galvao in the women's lightweight. Then we had Cole Abate, Andy Murasaki, Nolan Stewart, and Eric Muniz all walk away as crown champions. So Gabby Pisania and Eric Muniz now 3-time the crown champions. I believe this is only the 3rd time this event's happened. These two have won it every single time. But one of kind of the biggest performances, in my opinion, was Sarah Galvao and Cole Abate, particularly Sarah in this women's lightweight. This division was unreal, to be honest. You had Brianna St. Marie, the returning crown champion. That's who Sarah fought first here. It's kind of playing now, where Sarah's able to get the submission. So, I mean, an insane win for Sarah there.
A match we've wanted to see for a long time now.
Yeah, I still think this one, we got to do this one on like who's number 1 or something, run this back. Nogi, Sarah versus Brianna St. Marie. But on the other side, there was Jenaina Lebre, Cassia Mora, so this division was pretty unreal. So quite the run by Sarah Galvao to get this done.
Yeah, and obviously we've seen Sarah kind of dominate at the brown belt ranks now, for this past year, and she got her black belt, and she's, taken a lot of big matches, of course, the Helena match, and she's had some Who's Number 1 matches, and she was out there on Ocean BJJ. But to see her kind of jump back in the IBJJF circuit against the heavy hitters that are in that IBJJF circuit, like a BSM, and we're really going to start seeing her kind of go up against these girls that are winning IBJJF World Championships at the black belt level now. And so this was like a really big test right out the gate here, I think, for Sarah. And she passed with flying colors. She ends up getting the submission right here against BSM. She fought Cassia Mora, I believe, in the semifinals, got that win. Cassia Mora is a little older than her, not by much, but she at least has a year of black belt under her belt already, and just a slick kind of double collar choke, sliding collar choke there. You can see how much that really means to Sarah. And then Jenaina, who's been really kind of dominating the IBJJF scene, for the last kind of 2-3 years.
I think she's 2-time world champ now, right?
2-time world champ, so that was going to be a big match. And Sarah looks ready. Sarah looks ready. I think she might have just made her run at the IBJJF World Championships in 2026 a little harder for herself, because I think now everybody knows. Okay, Sarah's going to be there. Sarah's going to be in the finals. If you want to win a world championships at that weight class, now that you are for sure going to have to go through Sarah Galvao. So people are going to start game planning for that and whatnot. But I'm sure she welcomes it. She wants the world to know how good she is. So yeah, really, really impressed with Sarah Galvao. And I think just overall, these kind of young guns, the new era of grapplers kind of taking hold of the sport here. Like you mentioned, Cole Abate also had a great run. Nolan Stewart also had a great run. So
yeah, did this feel kind of like an event where we're seeing we talk a lot about the generations of jiu-jitsu and how quick they are, but did this feel like a little bit of a little minor changing in the guard in the gi a little bit? Like got Cole Abate winning, you got Nolan Stewart ending up getting the submission over Adam in the finals, Sarah Galvao. Like feels a little bit like now it's like, all right, we got some new players on the gi scene, beating world champions, coming out of one of the most prestigious gi events in the world on top.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching Joao Biznaga here versus Cole on the screen, and it's like, Joao's been in the game for a long time, but he's finally just crested that wave this year when he won his world championship, and it just goes to show how fast these things can happen, where it's like, it seems like Joao Mendes is the guy now. And, you know, maybe things have already surged past him, and now you got the next generation coming, and Adam as well. Adam has been dominating, you know, here recently. But now all of a sudden, Nolan Stewart's a young guy who's been chomping at the bit, and he was able to get the submission over Adam. So it's like, man, these things just move so quickly sometimes.
Definitely. This excuse me. This feels like a performance that could really kickstart some coal in the gi. You know, I know he's done well so far, but he still hasn't won a world championship yet. I know obviously that's like a major title that he wants to have on his resume. And winning something like the Crown, where you are going up against world champions in your division and everything, feels like this could be one that kind of launches him into this next gi season ready to go and ready to make some major waves there. So congrats to Cole on that one.
Yeah.
Also, Andy Murasaki, two-time now crown champion. He was able to get the win there in the middleweight division. He won last year and then won again this year. So now he's a two-time champ. This is we're getting a lot of multiple-time champs for the crown already. You know, it's kind of it's in its infancy as an event for sure, but some people stacking up those titles already. But shout out to Andy, great performance by him. He looked great the whole way.
Yeah, you know, Andy's been you know, obviously circling those gold medals for a long time. He seems to have a lot of success with the Crown here. He won last time, right? Yeah. So, and then I wanted to bring up obviously this reluctantly bring this up, you know, because
everybody knows how big of fans we are of Adam here.
Adam's our guy.
Bummer.
Adam's our guy. We're always rooting for Adam, but
technically this is one of his first retirement matches, so it kind of doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But it does count.
Adam's retired here, so this match doesn't really count.
It counts for Nolan. It doesn't count for Adam, so everybody wins.
No, but big shout out to Nolan Stewart. We've watched Nolan this year. He kind of usually is up a weight and has been fighting guys like Eric Muniz and stuff like that. So he kind of jumped back down to this heavyweight division. And I think we circled this one from get-go that Nolan versus Adam was going to be the match to watch in this division. And you know, Nolan's been grinding for a long time. He's been doing jiu-jitsu as a kid for a long time, and he's now starting to kind of really solidify himself as one of the best grapplers in the world from out there in California. I don't think his coach likes me very much, to be honest.
Why not?
I don't know.
You talk to him?
I haven't talked to him in a long time, to be honest, but I just don't think he's a fan of FloGrappling and stuff like that. So unfortunately,
well, I'm a big fan of the ELO rankings he does. I believe it's Nolan's coach who does the IBJJF ELO rankings.
I got nothing against him for sure. Yeah. You know, he's a passionate jiu-jitsu guy who's been in the game for a long time. But this was just a killer performance. Anytime you can submit a two-time world champion, especially one as dominant as Adam Wardzinski, man, that's a huge feather in your cap, especially in omoplata. I'm an omoplata guy. I love the omoplata. We don't see enough omoplatas, so shout out Nolan Stewart. Huge win here. Yeah,
Nolan. This is Nolan's game too, right here. He's always attacking omoplatas, and like, you know, once he gets it like locked in, pretty much, it's like there's no way out. It seems like he just stayed on this for so long, rolling through every which way, and eventually ended up getting the finish here on the omoplata. It is cool to see an omoplata. But
yep. So big win. You know, maybe we'll see Nolan back down at this heavyweight division here for the IBJJF circuits, and he'll be hunting his first IBJJF gold. And you can obviously see how much that one meant to him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in his post-match interview, they asked him like how he felt and stuff, and he said just another day for him. I was like, I don't know, man. It might be a special day at least.
Just another day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a pretty good day, though.
For sure.
That's a pretty solid day when you submit Adam Wardzinski. I'm still looking for my day like that, but
yeah. Yeah, Adam's tried to help me fix my game twice. It hasn't worked yet. But yeah, shout out Nolan Stewart. Huge win there. You know, also just wanted to shout out Eric Muniz. He's got his third crown championship. He got a submission in both his opening round and the semifinal, and then ended up going against Gustavo Batista, who kind of bounced up a weight for this one. He fought Gustavo Batista in the finals and ended up winning on points, so great performance there. Kind of similar with Gabby Pisani. Gabby went subs in her first two and then won against Tayani in the finals via points, but that was kind of some of the main stuff there.
Eric and Gabby just so dominant, you know, and you know, a lot of storylines in jiu-jitsu this year, but and just because Gabby and Eric have been so dominant, it gets kind of lost in the shuffle of all the things that have happened. But the things that Eric Muniz and Gabby Pisani are doing out there on the jiu-jitsu mats is just absolutely incredible. Like, everybody always talks about there's levels to jiu-jitsu, you know, and it just seems like Gabby and Eric just keep jumping levels. And, you know, nobody's really been able to catch up to them. Gabby put 6 points, I believe, on Teani in the finals. So there's just a lot of gap there to clear between, you know, Gabby and the number 2 person. So just incredible how dominant they've been. It's really something to behold.
Yeah, we're gonna get to see some more of Gabby here soon when she's gonna be on Who's Number 131 going down December 5th. She's taking on Paige Yvette Clymer, so that'll be a sick one. And speaking of who's number 1, let's get Felipe Pena on the horn. All right, somebody call Felipe Pena. Let's get him on so we can talk to him about his big upcoming match against Luke Griffith.
I'll get him real quick right now. Here we go.
All right, joining the show now, we got Felipe Pena, Braguisa himself calling in. Everybody give it up for Braguisa.
Thanks for calling in, Felipe. Oos.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you're calling in. You know, obviously you got a huge match coming up against Luke Griffith at Who's Number 131. Just overall, how's your training and preparation been for this match with Luke?
Man, it's been great. I think it's definitely one of the best camps I have. Like my last tournament was CGI, and I had a really serious injury a couple months before CGI. So I didn't have enough time to prepare me like 100% for CGI. So I was not feeling 100%, but definitely for that fight, I'm feeling 100%, you know, because I take the history from the CGI training, and I trained for really hard for, I don't know, 8 or 10 weeks. But I start the training, the camp in a really good level already, you know, because I was training for CGI, and after CGI, I still training. So I'm feeling really good, like no injuries. Training's been great, feeling super ready.
Nice. So recently we've seen you doing some of your bigger camps and everything. You'll come to San Diego sometimes, train with the Atto squad and all that. For this one, have you kind of just mainly stayed in Belo Horizonte, just training at your gym and everything?
Yeah. I did a couple camps in Atos, San Diego, right, with Andre, Kaina, and the guys. But this time was hard to stay there very long. So I did the whole camp here in BH with my students, my gym. But everything went so good, you know. I think there is a good side and bad sides to do camps. Like for me, do camps here and outside, you know. So, but nowadays I have a really good training here as well. Of course, it's not like Atos, but I think it's more than enough for me to get 100% ready, you know. And I'm feeling super ready, super good, and super prepared for this fight. So it was a really good training here and good camp in Belo Horizonte.
Definitely. So obviously you and Luke kind of have a little bit of a history now. You guys have fought 2 times at ADCC and then again at CJI. But then, you know, obviously everyone knows your history with kind of the New Wave / Kingsway crew goes back further with your rivalry with Gordon and everything. What do you think about fighting Luke for a 3rd time? You know, you're up 2-0 against Luke, but obviously this time it's for the WNO Heavyweight belt. So I'm just curious what you think about kind of your previous matches with Luke, and are you expecting anything different this time?
Man, I think Luke is a great opponent. You know, he's really good jiu-jitsu. He beat like a couple of the best guys, right? He beat like Vitor Hugo, Kaina, and I did really well against him on our first 2 matches. But I try don't take that to make me relax, you know. So I'm training for him, not being so confident, you know, and thinking like it's our first match, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm super excited. I really want that belt for a long time. So it's the match that Flo wants. So let's do it, you know. And yeah, I'm super excited to do that 3rd match. I expect Luke come really hard, right? For sure, like when you fight someone that you already lose 2 times, I think that gives you extra motivation to prepare, to win, and to give everything. So I really expect Luke really well prepared and with a lot of wanted, right? So I'm prepared of that, and I expect a war like were the last times, the last fights as well, right? We're really excited, like back and forth match. So expect and I'm ready for another match like this.
Yeah, definitely those two matches, very, very exciting. And just taking a look maybe at that first ADCC match, what do you kind of, or what did you learn from Luke in that first match? Because it was, you know, in the bracket, of course, both of you guys kind of had 3 matches, tough matches to go into the ADCC final. And then, like you said, it was a back and forth match. But what do you remember from that match? And what did you learn kind of about Luke from that first time you guys met?
Man, I think a couple things, a couple feedbacks, right? He's a really good back taker. He really likes to pass outside, and but I am a really good. I defend my back really really well. I train a lot of defense as well, and back, side control, and everything. And I think in general, I just have a better pace and a better jiu-jitsu in general, maybe more experience as well, you know, to fight many tournaments. So for so many years, I think Luke kind of doesn't have the same experience of mats and fights and the adrenaline, the mental that I have for all these couple of years. And I think this makes a big difference in a match like with a lot of pressure, you know, final of ADCC, CGI, and super fight now with who's number one. So, but in general, Luke has a really good jiu-jitsu. You know, he's very complete, very tall, very heavy, very strong guy, but with a good shape as well. So good cardio. So I think that's it, you know.
And then that second match, you know, I feel like sometimes we see a Felipe Pena that kind of comes out and kind of feels the match out a little bit of a slow start sometimes. But that CGI match, it just seemed like you were so motivated to get the submission, and you really went after Luke. And it just felt like a little bit of a different Felipe than we normally see. Did you have any kind of different intentions, or is that just kind of your training camp and everything like that was going well, so you went a little harder? That's what it seemed like to me anyway. You just came out and just blew the doors off of them.
Man, to be honest, I think was more like no choice because we were losing on the points, right? And if I didn't get that submission, was pretty much done for our team. So I had to get that submission to put our team on the game again, you know? And so I think it was pretty much that way, you know. I went to that match like, man, whatever, I'm gonna fight maximum I can since the beginning to get that submission, because if I do a good match, or if I don't submit, or if I win the match if it's a draw, we're gonna lose, you know. So it's all the weight on my back. So I pretty much had this mentality to go there, you know, like, man, I need to give everything now, you know. I cannot pace, I cannot do strategy. I need to go 100% since the beginning. Was pretty much the difference than normally when I normally fight. Because when I normally fight, if it's a tournament or a super fight, it's 0-0, you know, I'm not losing, you know. I don't start losing. Start 0-0, and you keep like pacing, doing your jiu-jitsu, exchange your jiu-jitsu, feeling the match. But on the CGI, I pretty much start the match losing, you know, because my team was losing. So was similar for me than when you're fighting and you're losing a match, you need to go after it, right? So I start the match with that feeling.
And then, you mentioned earlier that you've been really kind of circling and chasing this who's number one heavyweight title belt for a while. And obviously you've won everything in this sport. Your accolades go on forever. But what would it mean to you to win the heavyweight title, as a guy who's kind of won everything already in the sport?
And I think it's another goal for me, because nowadays who is number one, it's the biggest or one of the biggest events of super fight now, and we live in an era now that the main goal is not be a world champion anymore, in my opinion. The main goal is be our champion to be able to get in on the super fight circuit, you know what I mean? To have events, to call you and stuff. I think that's the main goal. So I read one Worlds, I read one ADCC, but on this new era we live in now of super fights, the main goal is get the belt, like be the best of that event, So I really wanted to achieve that, and defend my belt many times possible against the best of the world, because I think this is how you prove today you are the best. It's not anymore you go for world championship anymore. You win a world championship, it doesn't prove anymore you are the best, because mostly of the best guys, they are not there anymore. So how you prove you are the best now is getting a big event, get the belt, defend the belt against the best ones, and be the best athletes, So that's my goal now.
And just you've seen the jiu-jitsu world change so much over the years. You've been in this game for a long, long time. Like you're talking about, things have changed a lot recently. I'm just kind of curious what you think of the modern jiu-jitsu scene out there, and the way things have been changing, and the way that there's more opportunities for younger grapplers, and there's so many different super fight shows and stuff like that. Just kind of in general, how you feel about this change that we've been seeing in jiu-jitsu lately?
Man, I think it's very good from the most on the most aspects, right? It's way better than were before. You have more opportunities. You have not a monopoly anymore. Like there is many events doing great things. So this gives opportunity to more athletes, and this help a concorrência, have one event here, other event here doing the best. This type of rivalry helps the sport to grow, So I think I only see that with positive eyes, So I think it's part of the game. Jiu-jitsu is growing, and I'm happy to be part of this new era, because back in the day, I would to fight, not expecting anything, not expecting a good purse, not expecting to change my life, anything. I fight just because I like it, to prove I'm the best. And nowadays, the athletes can actually live, have a good life being an athlete, So that sounds a little crazy, but in a couple years ago, the athletes didn't have that, And I think it's just the beginning. I think it's just grow very fast. But comparing to a couple years ago, it's already a big change.
Definitely. I'm kind of curious, Felipe. Reed kind of asked you about this a little bit. Kind of, obviously, you have so many accolades, accomplished so much in the sport and everything. But I am just curious, what are some of the biggest motivators for you at this point in your career? Because there's different aspects where I could see potentially being motivated for you, whether it be, winning just the title, like getting the WNO title itself, getting bigger purses and paydays. And then there is a dynamic where it's like, everyone knows you have a history with Gordon. Now Luke is kind of like the next guy up under like Gordon's wing a little bit. Like, is there any motivation there for you to like kind of want to keep, smashing people who are coming up under Gordon? Or I guess just in general, what motivates you the most at this point in your career?
And I think, of course, like this professional part, right? Like being paid good and have a good life. Of course, this is important. But to be honest, what really motivates me, it's to prove I am the best, because I really think I am the best. I really think when I am well training and have a good camp, when I can beat anyone, including Gordon. So I think on this super fight world that we live in right now, that's my motivation. Get the belt, defend the belt against the best, like Vitor Hugo, Nicky Roddy, and whoever else FloGrappling wants me to face, and prove him the best, and hopefully Gordon come back to fight so we can do this final fight of our chapter, right? Because it's true. So I really hope Gordon come back and we put a stone on that history, a final stone. So it's nothing against him, and I don't have like any motivation to beat out. I want to beat Gordon students, Luke, or anyone like this. But I just want like prove how my jiu-jitsu is efficient and test myself against the best, to find out like if I have been on this journey for many years. Like I got my black belt in the end of 2012, right? So since I got my black belt, it's been 13 years already, and I've been 30 years winning, like the best tournaments, fighting the best guys. And I truly believe I am not in my best version yet, Now I am my best version, like comparing to 13 years ago. But I really believe like in 6 months I'll be better. In another 6 months I'll be better and better. So I think the best for me as an athlete is yet to come.
And so, like, things like retirement aren't on your mind at all, or anything like that. You're going for.
Yeah, not really. I think I'm gonna be here for. Hopefully, I'm gonna be here for a couple more years. I'm 34 now, so I think you see many guys with 40, 42, 44 doing really good. So I take care of myself, my body. I have a good lifestyle, I take care of my health. So hopefully I can be fighting the best and winning against the best for another, another decade. Or I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But I don't think in stop fighting now.
Did you watch Luke's last match there on Who's Number One against Victor Hugo? And I'm just curious what your thoughts on that match were. Were you impressed with what Luke was able to do? He was in some bad spots early on.
Yeah. And I think Luke did great. I watched I don't remember if I watched the whole match or I watched a couple parts later. But I remember like Vitor Hugo got in a good position since in the beginning, right? And Luke was very similar from my fight against Luke, right? Like Luke almost got my back, I escaped, and then I took him down, took his back and submit. So was very similar to that. And I was not surprised. I think Luke has a really good jiu-jitsu, and in our last match, I see he has a really good defenses as well, So was a little different than the way he normally fights, the way his fights normally goes, right? Because normally he starts strong, and on this match, like Vitor Hugo starts strong, but he was able to recover, to take Vitor Hugo's back and get the win. he did a submit, right? Or he just got the back, right?
Yeah, no submission.
No submission. He got the back. So I was not surprised. They are two of the best, and Vitor Hugo did some mistakes, and the Luke were smart to take advantage of that and win the match. You know, was a even match, but in the end, Luke won. So he did great.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring up one thing. Last time I was in Belo Horizonte filming with you and stuff, this was in lead up to ADCC 2024. You talked a lot about how you kind of like had the same hunger you had back whenever you were a colored belt, you know, like you were chasing something and training hard and just had a lot of hunger to compete and perform at the highest stages. Are you still kind of in that same phase? Like, do you kind of have that same hunger and everything that you did leading up to ADCC and all that?
Yeah, it's different when I was the hungry is still here. You know, I still have the same hungry and stuff, but it's different when you are younger. You didn't achieve, you know, your biggest dream and stuff. So I have more like it's a more mature hungry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I am like. It's not so excited for me anymore. Like fight. Oh, I'm gonna fight. This is not new for me anymore. Anything like this. But I have this motivation to test myself against the best. You know, so I really think I can beat all them. And this is my hunger. You know, this is my motivation. Like test myself against the best and hopefully prove I am the best.
Yeah, whenever you go out there December 5th and take on Luke Griffith at Who's Number One, do you have kind of like a route to victory? Do you have a prediction for how you kind of see this match playing out or a way that you can get the win in this one?
I do, but I cannot say.
Yeah, can't give away the secrets.
Yeah,
don't give advantage.
True.
But I was just going to ask.
Yeah, but
go ahead, Felipe.
Go for it.
I was just going to ask.
No, I think like I said in the beginning, I think it'll be a back and forth match. You know, I expect Luke come very hungry, very prepared. But what I can say is I'm feeling so ready, so confident that if it was not good for him on CGI, I think on this match it will be not good at all because I am like, I feel way better than I was in CGI, you know. But fight is a fight, you know. You never know 100% what's gonna happen. You know, this is in God's hands. But I feel really well and really confident for the match.
And then just looking back to CGI, because you know, again, you've competed all over, competed with everybody. What was that experience like competing at CGI? A little different in the pit? Did that change anything? I feel like a lot of people were talking about you after CGI and everything like that. So I'm just curious, kind of what your thoughts overall on that spectacle.
And I think it was a great event. The pit is great, you know. If in my opinion, I think every event should have a wall, a pit, something like that, because that makes more entertainment. You know, doesn't give space for fighters like keeping run away. They cannot run away. You know, I think every event should have a wall or a pit like this. So I think this is great. I didn't like much the rule set. About the quintet, right? Like if you smash someone but you don't submit, it's a draw, and you fight another person right after that, and you kind of fight on the dark. I don't think this is the best rule set to take the best of the athletes, you know, and to have more submissions and stuff. So I think this was proven, right? Because was not a highly range of submissions on this rule set. So I was not a fan of this quintet rule set, you know. I think, but if it is everything for the show, you know, if the people who watch, the spectators like that, I think this is the most important, you know. And in general, CGI like changed the game, you know, like he really stepped up jiu-jitsu. So I think they are doing great for the sport, for jiu-jitsu, for the athletes, for everyone, you know. So I think I only have like, the only thing I would say is about the rule set that I didn't like much. I don't think it's the best rule set. But in all other aspects, like I only can congratulate, you know, CGI, Craig Jones, Stat, and all the staff for everything they're doing.
And I did want to just get your perspective maybe on the Dorian match. It seemed like that was a match that everybody was talking about and everything like that. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that match.
Man, against this Dorian match, I started the match like, man, I just want to draw, you know. I just cannot get a submission. And this was pretty much what happened, because I gave 200% on the Luke match, you know. I normally start really high pace. I normally doesn't do that. And he was defending very well. So I really gave my everything on that match to get the submission, you know. So I was pretty much exhausted after the Luke. And when the match starts, my goal was just take it out him, you know, take it out Dorian. So if you don't get a submission, it's a draw, right?
Yep.
So that was like the strategy. I didn't have energy to get a submission or anything like that. So I actually, when I started in the beginning, I said, man, let's go. Maybe I can get a submission. But after like 15 seconds, man, I just gonna take him out, you know. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. And we'll, you know, this is we're coming up on ADCC and everything like that. Will we see you back at the ADCC World Championships in Poland, or is it too early to tell?
Yeah, I really want to do ADCC. It's a little doubts how gonna be ADCC, right? Because Mo, Isabel, tô gravando, deixa eu colocar aqui. It's I don't know after Mo how gonna be. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Okay.
But
No worries.
I don't know how gonna be ADCC next year after Mo is out, because Mo did so good for ADCC.
Yeah.
So no one reach out to see how gonna be, but we don't know how gonna be CGI. If gonna be in the same date as well than the last ADCC. So, but I definitely have the intention to compete CGI. Not CGI, sorry, to ADCC.
Yeah. Yeah. We would love to see you out there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be electric if Felipe Pena's out there. I did just want to say, like, on your CGI match with Luke, that was a fun Preguiça to see. You kind of came out the opposite of your nickname, Preguiça. You know, I was like, oh my gosh! As soon as the match started, it was like, whoa, this is a crazy version of Felipe Pena, just kind of constantly just going right at Luke and all of that. Just electric from start to finish. So that was sick to see. You know, I hope we get a little bit of that action at Who's Number One. You know, you guys just going nuts like that. But you know, that was a sick match for sure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. But that's the plan. That's the plan for December. I don't want to hold anything back, you know. So I'm feeling really, like I said, really prepared, really well. So I'm ready to push the pace for 15 minutes, you know.
Definitely.
Have you ever competed in Austin, Texas before?
I think the one I compete against Gordon was in Austin, right?
It was in Dallas.
Was in Dallas. Oh, yeah. So I don't think so. Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's too many competitions to count at this point.
Do
Yeah.
I feel like before you've talked about how you do like the Who's Number One rules. I'm just curious on your thoughts on the Who's Number One rule set and all that. Are you still a fan of it, or what do you think about the rules in general?
Yeah, man. I think who is number one rule set is it's the best rule set, because it's 15 minutes only submission. It's very easy to figure out who won the match because of the rounds, right? So if one athlete did better, like you say, oh, favor red and stuff, you see, who is watching and who is fighting, who won the round, but it's not guarantee of anything, because submission can change anything, or maybe a more dominant round can change the everything. So I think it's just a very clear rule set, very clear rule set. The goal is submission, so fight hard for 15 minutes to get the submission. And if there is no submission, going to win whoever is the best, There is no much like subjective point, subjective rule set, The only thing that I would change is the wall, because I think if you guys put a wall or a pit or anything like that, I think it would be more excited than it is. I think that's the only thing to get the perfect scenario rule set for event, because the match doesn't need to stop. The athletes cannot like use the end of the match to run away, to clear the position, to set up, since the beginning. So I think who's number one is the best rule set, and the only thing is missing is a wall, a pit, anything like that.
Yeah, I think definitely, that makes sense. It's like the idea is to kind of take away the judges and the referees as much as you can, and just like let the athletes go out there and just do jiu-jitsu and let jiu-jitsu decide it. And,
Exactly.
I don't know, as the pit kind of finds more and more success, and you kind of realize like the pit does kind of work,
Helps that. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does help. Where then like Gabriel Martins, like the head ref, who's usually the one yelling stop and all that on the edge of the mat, like now that kind of comes where he doesn't really even need to interact, no resets. Like someone always wins and loses a reset. So it's like if you take that away, it's even better, So
Are you building a pit?
Yeah, because sorry.
Are you building a pit in your gym?
Yeah, like Taurun, the company, Tatami, Taurun, they did not a pit, a whole pit, but a wall, an inclined wall in my gym for CGI. I'm not using now, but because it's very easy, you put there and take it out. So they did a great job, but helping me a lot in CGI. And it's really fun, man, training there, because this creates a whole new game when you are on this wall, And because if there is no pit, like a lot of times the athletes, they use that to stop the match or to escape from the submission. But when you have the pit, it's kind of the opposite. The athletes, they don't want to go for the edge, because if you put your back there, it's very easy for the guy, for your opponent, take you down. So like you guys said, I think this keep the match there. The referee doesn't stop with the pit or a wall, anything like that. I think is the best scenario.
Yeah, it does look fun. I've still never trained on a pit wall, but I do kind of want to just mess around with it. It seems like it opens up a lot of fun stuff to do. A guy that you have a lot of experience training with and everything that I bet would be a menace in the pit is Pedro Mourinho. I could see Pedro Mourinho just throwing dudes up against the pit and just like heavy collar ties with his opponents back to the pit and everything. I feel like he's a guy who could use the pit well.
100%. I did not train with Pedro on the pit, but Pedro has a really good, fast, strong game, like stand-up game, So I think he definitely could use the pit very well,
Definitely.
And like you said, for everyone, perfect scenario would be both athletes walking forward, right? Fight, walk forward, color tie and stuff. When you have the pit, there is more chance for this happening, because if one athlete is walking back, he's getting close to the pit, and he know when he get close to the pit is bad for him, because gonna be easy for the guy to take down. So they always keep on the center, and fight and rotate and stuff. So I think the pit even helps the match get more excitement, more exciting. So I think I'm really a fan of the pit.
Definitely. And then I kind of want to ask you one more thing, but I'll admit, I sometimes get hesitant always asking you Gordon stuff, because I'm like, man, at a certain point, I don't know if Felipe is kind of over it and is like, why is media guys like Trey always got to bring up Gordon when they talk to me? But I know.
No.
Okay.
How good.
Okay. But in
Just
the past, leading up to you and Gordon's matches and stuff, you guys kind of will DM and stuff a decent amount. It seems like you guys do kind of talk and everything. I'm just curious if Gordon has, talked to you or messaged you, reached out at all kind of in your lead up to this match with Luke. You guys been talking at all in lead up to this one?
Oh, not really. He didn't send anything. I didn't send anything. I think he's focused on helping Luke, right? And I am focused on beat Luke. So I think there's no much reason to exchange a message now, But I have no problem at all to talk against Gordon, against my rivalry. And actually the opposite of that, I hope, like I said, I hope he have a good recovery, he stay healthy, if that's the main reason he's not fighting, and I hope he come back to the fight scenario, So hopefully I can win this belt, beating Luke, and I can defend the belt against Gordon anytime soon, So, but we had a really strong rivalry, really personal back in the day. I used to hate Gordon, but nowadays is more. We still have a rivalry, and hopefully we fight again. But nowadays is more. It's not the same personally than was before. I think it's been a long time when we chat after DCC, so I just wish him the best. But I really would like to face him and smash him.
Definitely, yeah. Obviously, that fifth match between you guys, I still think will be one of the biggest potential matches in the jiu-jitsu history, to be honest. But it does sound like you have much more of, kind of like you talked about, still hungry, but a mature hunger. It seems like your rivalry with Gordon has it's on a more mature place now, where it's not so much just straight up hate, but more kind of just actual sport rivalry. At least it seems from my perspective. But
yeah, I agree. It's more like sports rivalry, and
do you still have the photo album of Gordon on your phone that you used to have?
Let me check. Maybe I do. Maybe I deleted. I'm not sure.
Because I'm not gonna lie, that was also one of the funniest things I've seen, is when you busted out the Gordon photo album.
Actually, I do. I still have.
Oh, wow.
There's so much things here. Look. Whole thing.
I like how it brings a smile to your face, Felipe.
So not too much has changed, but a little bit.
It's fun. Good time. It's a good time. I think this is the best. Look.
Is this going to be the baby one? Oh.
This is good.
There you go, Felipe.
He's a good dancer as well, huh?
Yeah.
Like you said.
Why wasn't he dancing at your wedding?
Americans know how to dance as well.
Yeah, true. All right, Felipe. Well, we appreciate you calling in and everything, man. We're super stoked to watch you. Who's number 131? I think it's going to be super exciting. I think it's one of the biggest matches, to make right now, you versus Luke for the heavyweight title. The heavyweight title's kind of been in limbo for a while now, so it's going to be awesome to get it strapped around number 1 or number 2 in the world's waist and kind of move forward with the heavyweight division. But any final thoughts, anything you want to say before we get out of here, Felipe?
Oh, just thank you guys for having me here. I'm really looking forward to to fight against Luke. And to say everyone's watching to don't miss the match because it's going to be fireworks and let's go with everything. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks to Felipe Pena for calling in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed talking to him and everything. You know, I'm excited for that match. It's going to be a huge day in Austin, Texas on December 5th when Who's Number 131 goes down. Thank you all for calling, or thank you all for tuning in, watching the show, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.